whispering in the trees. It's too
My
sad
argument that I'm trying to say is that George Ryan's in jail, but yet he was still able to go be at his wife's side. I don't think that should have been allowed. You're in jail. You don't get no more rights. Just like this father who beat the mother, sorry, pal, you had your moment in the sun. You're done. You don't get to get out of jail just because you feel that you need to be there for your kids. In George Ryan's case, I understand his wife was sick, and I don't wish that on anybody to go through something like that, but sorry, you're in jail for a reason. If that means that you have to sacrifice not being there as your better half passes, well, that's too bad. I'm sorry. You had your chance to do right. You're being punished for the choices you make. Let's go to the phone lines. Hello, caller.
I really disagree with you.
All right, Gloria, you can do that. What's up?
And I'll tell you why.
All right, go ahead.
That young man was a violent person.
Mm-hmm.
The governor, ever since he released all of those prisoners, it was on.
Mm-hmm.
And he was not a violent person. All these politicians sooner or later end up in Betty Bye.
Mm-hmm.
But I could never compare a political person with a violent killer, or a violent person beating their children, kicking their wife, or things like that. That's a separatism. And the man wasn't corrupt in his younger age like this young man is.
But Gloria, I don't think people should be getting a free pass out of jail just because there's certain circumstances that come up. When you go to jail, you lose your rights. You lose those circumstances.
But not in all cases.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Cases, I mean, it's just that's the way it is.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't agree with that.
But see, if it's certain. That's why they separate them.
Mm-hmm.
Different violent criminals go here, this, that, and the other.
Right.
Rapists never be with the regular people because the people in there will kill them.
Sure.
You understand?
I am with you.
But this George Ryan, it was a shame. You know, like they're getting ready to put the other governor in jail.
Right.
You know, the one looked like Howdy Doody.
Oh, yeah, Blagojevich.
Getting ready. And I just, with me looking at it, is to make sure that these politicians keep their hands out of our money.
Mm.
And that's my thing.
Okay.
They'll keep their hands out, just like the East Chicago mayor.
Mm.
Did everybody's street thing.
Right.
And he's still walking around, running things. You see what I'm saying?
I'm with you. I understand where you're coming from.
I see. But with to compare him with a violent person, and then he was, 1 foot in the grave anyway, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I can say this. Because he's older.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you ever think the senior citizens jail is like the one you go to?
Right.
It's a difference. So I know what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't compare.
Let's go to this caller. Hello, caller.
Hey, T-Rex, how you doing?
What's up, brother?
Hey, I agree with Dave, and I agree with the last caller.
All right.
And I agree with you, and I agree with throwing away the key and they get no rights and keep them in jail. I don't care what kind of crime they made. And we know that the judicial system, that some sentences may be unfair to some, and this guy made a murder, but he's getting less time than the person that did a drug deal. What's worse? But just don't do the crime. And you won't do the time, like Morelli used to say, right?
Right.
But the other thing is, the only reason these people one of the reasons they're getting out of jail, though, is because of the overcrowding in the jails, man. We got so many people out there.
Good point.
That are creating these crimes, and how do you keep them in jails when you don't have the room?
Hello, caller.
Hi. Hey, boy, that guy is kind of harsh.
Oh yeah, he's very into it, but that's all right.
I'm thinking, it's okay, but I'm thinking, maybe the grandparents aren't in the best of health. Maybe they're not together. Maybe they're both, they're divorced, or
that's possible.
One's passed on.
Sure.
But I don't know that. Maybe maybe. What about her parents?
Yeah, that's the other thing too. You're absolutely right, ma'am.
Yeah, her parents. But I'm just saying, that's a huge undertaking.
Mm-hmm.
And my husband and I adopted a daughter a long time ago, and the grandparents couldn't take her.
Right.
They were in ill health, I remember the grandmother had a heart problem, and they just couldn't do it. And I know it had to be hard on them to give her up.
Oh, sure. I can imagine.
But there's a lot of other scenarios, you know, that could be the reason why.